All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how degenerate this world is, man, and how hypocritical it is as well, man, because you've got these people known as IRL streamers, man, which stands for, if I'm not mistaken, man, I believe it stands for in real life streamers. And these people go around streaming themselves, recording themselves on a live feed where people can comment, and they pretty much do stupid things to entertain the people that are watching them on a recording, and the purpose of that is ultimately for them to get money, right? And the majority of the people that do these things are so-called Caucasians, man. The majority of the people that I've seen, but then there are a few other ones that are popular as well, and they most of them are not Israelites, man. The ones that do the IRL streaming. Now, I don't know if that guy Kai Cenat is considered an IRL streamer. I know he's considered a streamer, but I don't know if he does the whole walking around recording himself on live, like throughout his day-to-day life. But I don't believe he does that, man. But the main ones that I see walking down the street and acting a menace are Edomites, man. Yet the stereotype of them doing all of these things has not been pushed into the earth. But then everyone's got a stereotype flying out their mouth towards us, man, and it's just sickening, man. Right? And what these people are doing, right, is annoying, and these people are actually getting violent with people. Yet people still have got so much to say about the Hebrew Israelites and try and make out like we're the worst thing on the earth. But Israelites don't go around doing this kind of thing. Israelites set themselves up in a particular place and teach the Bible. And if people want to listen, they can listen. And if they don't want to listen, they can go about their day. Right? But these people are walking around the street, banging into people, sticking their hands in people's food. Right? But from what I'm going to record, you know that these people are not completely unaware as to what they're doing, man, because they don't try everyone. Right? And I'm going to show it. I'm going to play a bit of this. Right? And you're going to see this little dweeb here stick his hands in someone's food, two women's food, and eat it, man. Right?
This guy right here.
Right, so that right there just shows you one thing, and the thing is that men are protection, man, from folly that people might want to try and do. Because had this woman, right, 1 second, let me go back, man. He clearly looks at the couple together sitting here, right? But the only difference between them and the other ones is that this is a man, right? A man with a beard on his face, right? He ain't paying attention. He had a full shot to go and dip his hand in their food as well, if he wanted to. And he thought about it for a second. But then he thought, nah, I ain't going to go there. But why? Because there was a man there. And he sees these two women, right? And he knows that he don't think that's no threat. And this ain't no big, like, I don't even know how old he is, man. But if he's above the age of 12, then according to the Bible, that's a young man, right? But it just shows that women ain't no threat to nothing, man. As much as you women want to pipe up your mouth and talking up like he's so strong and independent and all this stuff, you ain't even no threat to make a little kid like this or whatever he is, man, feel like he shouldn't try you in that way. Right? He even has the nerve to look back in it, like look her dead in her face, like, yeah, and what are you gonna do? And then let me see if it shows it on the camera, because she does approach them, but they ain't intimidated.
What the fuck? Put your hand.
You see, she's way bigger than him. She's way bigger than him, man. But you'll see, he ain't intimidated, man.
In my food again, and I'm throwing all of your phones.
Hey, you're not touching our phone.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that.
They ain't intimidated. And I also want to say this, man. Right? And this is something that people ain't gonna want to hear, but violence being a possibility keeps the world in check, man. And for all you clowns out there that you want to say, oh, nah, you can't say that. Well, when you people even try and live according to the civilized manner, the so-called civilized manner that you think, if someone robs your house, what are you going to do? Are you going to call the police? Right? If someone's threatening you with violence, what are you going to do? Are you going to call the police? And if you say yes, well, what are the police going to do when they get there? And if you say no, well, then how do you suggest that the situation would be hindered then? If you're not prepared to stop the person and the person is not willing to stop. And then when you call the police, what are the police going to do? Right? And the only reason why this kind of thing is happening is because people are not following after God's laws, because there's a particular law in the Bible that if you've got a stubborn and rebellious child, right, and he don't want to listen to nobody, well, then he's supposed to be stoned. And people might say, oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. But look at this child. He's going around in Miami. I believe this is Miami, right? Where adults have paid for their meal and they're sitting down eating their food, right? Just minding their own business. And he's sticking his hand in their food, right? He's sticking his hand in their food and eating it. Like, you know how disrespectful that is. And then he's not completely unaware as to danger because he didn't do it to the man that he saw sitting with his woman. But then if this kid got punched up, right, or somebody decided to hurt him to the fullest extent, all of you clowns out there would be yelling out your mouth, oh, but he's a little kid, but he's a little kid. But then none of you people are willing to make these little kids be punished for anything that they do in this world, which is the reason why these kind of things continually happen anyway. And just like how this is the kind of things that little kids are able to get away with, is the kind of things that this wicked ass world has allowed women to get away with, right? But then if a man did this, right, people would be willing to call the police and all kind of things so that he can get judged. But when it comes to women and children and little nerds like this, whatever the hell he is, right, then nobody ain't got nothing to say, man.
You don't do that to people.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Stop filming me.
You're a nobody. It's a live stream. You can't stop.
The lust for fame, right, has caused for this wicked ass world that we're living in right now, man. To where everyone just wants to be famous, man. But then they ain't even got no talent anyway. Everyone wants to be famous, but they ain't got no talent. Neither are they prepared to try and learn something so that they can have some talent, man. So they have to resort to stupid stuff like this.
Who are you? What the fuck are you? Give me the phone. Now you're not touching my fucking phone. Touch my phone, I'm gonna actually do something. Are you gonna beat me up? Back the fuck up. Back the fuck. I will. I want to know. How old are you?
You see the little boy behind? Or whatever. Well, I ain't even going to call them no little boys, man. According to God's eyes, right? These ain't no little boys, man. And the thing is, she'd have probably lost if she tried to do something, man. Even to these little weaklings, man. Because a woman ain't no threat to nothing. They ain't no threat, man. And when all hell breaks loose, these women are going to realize that even against little kids like this, they ain't really no threat, man. Now, she at least tried to confront them and whatever, but all it did in this stupid world is allow them to get some views for their stupid little channel or whatever the hell is going on, man.
Bob does some really here
Let me
because
see
it's
if I
so
can
funny.
quickly see anything else, man, that these little idiots did, man. Because this world, right, had just produced demons, man. But then no one ain't gonna make this a stereotype for Edom, right? But let this have been well, they did do it when it came to the that one Jake Mizzy or something like that. His name was in London. Everyone had a whole bunch of stuff to say because it was a so-called black child or black man, a young black so-called black man in that times, right? But when it comes to these little Edomites, they ain't gonna be making it a race thing. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna try and apply no race thing to all of the stupid things that they're doing, man. But whenever it's us that does anything wrong, they don't always want to try and make it be about our race or our cult. They want to say culture, this and all of that. It's sickening, man. This hypocritical world, man. These people running around, dipping their hands in people's food, man. Let me go back to it again. See what I mean? And then that stupid Karen looking ass demon, right? If that would have been Jake, you know she would have called the cops, man. You know she would have called the cops. But this world's just too bugged out, man. People are walking around with camera production teams, stealing people's food, doing all kind of madness, right? Just getting on people's nerves, man. And they don't really have a threat of violence, man. Which a threat of violence keeps people in check. And the threat of violence would be based on the laws of Yahweh, man. And it's not even really so much a threat of violence. It's a threat of judgment, man. A threat of judgment. That when you do something wrong, something is going to happen as a result of that. That's what's missing from this earth, man. And the only people that are really forced to abide by that kind of stuff in this world most of the time, and that everyone tries to make sure has to follow that there is a judgment for anything that you do wrong. They try and make it be the so-called black man, Latino, and Native American man. But everybody else that does things wrong, they try and some of the time, especially when it's Esau, they try and be like, well, that's just an individual case of him or her doing that. But then if it's one of us that do something wrong, then it's a race related thing. It's because of how we was raised up. But then they ain't gonna say that the reason why this little dweeb's doing all of this is because of how the Caucasian race don't raise their children right. They ain't gonna say that. They ain't gonna question where are these little dweebs' parents and how comes they don't know that they're walking up and down Miami with a camera recording themselves doing this. Really, if you watch some of this video, they're recording themselves breaking the law. But Esau's made a world like this because he'll give these kids a ban or whatever, these little dweebs, right? And then he'll make money off it, man. He makes money off all the degenerate behavior that people are doing, man. Because he don't care as long as his pockets get filled. This is the world he's made, man. I'm ending the lesson there. Shalom.